7:30, I'm going to call to order the June 9th Village of Webster Board meeting. Trustee Bill Kane, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up this evening, we have Tom Spoonhour and Carl, who are going to come up and just give us an update on what the bid has entailed for us this summer. You guys do a great job every year, and so we'd like to welcome you.
You can come up together. You can come up together and hold hands.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you.
And I don't know if everybody here knows what the bid is, or if everybody watching on TV knows what the bid is. I'll take a quick few seconds just to explain what it is. The bid is actually the Business Improvement District, and the Business Improvement District was established by the Village Board back in, I think, 2000. With bid's responsibilities are to try to improve the Business Improvement District, the area for business, by improving it structurally and advertising and helping bring business into the village and customers into the village. So the bid runs events to try to bring people into the village, to see the village. We have about approximately 240 members, and those are mostly businesses, but they are also property owners. So it's a geographical area. The geographical area is defined, and businesses and property in that district are our members. So this year, we try to bring people into the village to different demographics, to try to let them see the village, to see the businesses that are in the village, so that they know that there are things going on. Several years ago, we looked at the numbers of people who were coming into the village, and Webster basically has about 45,000 people living in the village, and pretty much about 10% of them actually came to the village for some reason. So we decided that we should try to do some things to try to bring people into the village for different reasons, not necessarily to be shopping or buy things, but to come in and have a positive experience. Go home and say to their neighbor, gee, I went to the village and I did this and it was really nice, and just to highlight the things that go on in the village and the things that we have here. So this is our, this weekend will be our second wine walk. We have a wine walk Saturday night, and wine walks were started by Robin last year, bringing in several hundred people at a time who travel, walk around the village to designated areas, different stores, and stop and have a glass of wine, see what the businesses are all about, and have a small snack. So we have 4 wine walks this year, and our second one is coming up this Saturday, and hopefully the weather will be nice. Friday night concerts have been going on in the village for almost 20 years now. Friday nights in the gazebo or someplace. We used to actually have them sometimes at the Knights of Columbus many years ago. Free concerts, different kinds of music. They start this year on June 29th and go several Friday nights in a row. Everything we do is free. We don't charge for anything. So anybody that comes in the village is welcome to come to the concerts. Different array of kinds of music on Friday night. We usually try to have a rock and roll or an acoustic band, a jazz band, a country band. Just different demographics and different kinds of music for everybody that might want to come and sit and enjoy it, which they do every week. Movies in the park. This is our 9th year for Movies in the Park. We've been doing that on Tuesday nights, Carl and I mainly. Family movies, mostly cartoons, some older movies. We have free popcorn that we pop every Tuesday night. Hagedorn's is kind enough to give us the supplies for the popcorn that we pop and give to the kids every Tuesday night. This year we're trying something a little different and try to, again, add a different demographic to coming into the village. 2 Saturday nights we're going to be running date night movies for a different demographic, an older demographic. So along with some of the regular movies that are, and actually a couple of the movies we have for kids this year are actually first run movies right now. Zootopia, which is still in the movie previews, we'll have this year. And again, the new Minions movie, which was just last fall. We'll also have that for the kids this year. But on the date night movies, we're going to have To Catch a Thief, the 1955 movie with Cary Grant and Grace Kelly. And that'll be on Saturday night, July 30th. And then on August 13th, we'll have The Out-of-Towners, which with Sandy Dennis and Jack Lemmon. Both pretty classic movies, and we hope to draw a demographic, you know, the 45 to 65 or 70 or whatever, who might want to sit in the park and enjoy a movie. Even the mayor might want to come.
Only 40.
Jazz Festival this year this is our 9th year for Jazz Festival again, and Jazz Festival has, we started 9 years ago in the park for 2 nights. We drew about 75 people the first night. We had 2 nights in the park, on a Thursday night and a Friday night. Thursday night it was about 45 degrees and windy, and we had about 75 people wrapped up in blankets. Friday night of the first year, it was almost 95 degrees. In the 24-hour period, it was unbelievably hot. We had a high school jazz band that came dressed totally in black. And I think they almost all passed out in the gazebo. But we had about 150 people that second night. The next year, we decided, the second year where Carl and I were talking, we decided to move the Jazz Festival up to Main Street. On Tuesday nights, we were down in the park showing movies, and we'd have hundreds of people in the park down watching a movie. And we'd walk up on the Main Street, and there'd be some people going to the bars and stuff, but pretty much Main Street was pretty much empty. So we decided maybe we should put an event right on the street. So we moved Jazz Festival to Main Street, and we've had last couple years when we draw several thousand people it gets bigger and bigger every year. So this year we're adding another thing to Jazz Festival. We're going to go 2 nights. So July 22nd, it's going to be called Jazz in the Pubs, and we're putting a jazz act in all of the restaurants and bars, starting at Harmony House. And they will be staggered in times going all the way from 6:30 till 11 o'clock at night. So again, they'll be all free, and people can walk around the village and go to the different restaurants and bars and see different kinds of music, jazz music, that Friday night, which is July 22nd. July 23rd will be what we've done normally. We're closing down the street. It's called Jazz on the Street, and we'll be on West Main Street. It'll be closed down with all our restaurant and food vendors and the big stage and some really, really good music for Saturday night. Again, all free. In the fall, we'll do Trick or Treat Trail, as we usually do, which is always a great thing for lots of families, and White Christmas, which has been the traditional tied in with the Fireman's Parade. And one last thing that we tried this year, I was trying to do this for the last year for a couple reasons. But we started a pilot program for high school kids. It's called Open Night Jazz, and it's at Harmony House. And 1 night a week in Harmony House, we've rented Harmony House and opened it up to the kids in the jazz bands in the high school to come in and just play. And we did it twice as a pilot just to see how it would work. And with next year, with the thought of trying to do it every month. And it's a little bit of a challenge trying to operate around the school's calendars and what they have going for sports, what they have going for other kinds of activities and awards nights, and then also trying to coordinate it with Harmony House. So it was a challenge. I started last October, and we finally got to do it this April. But it did work out well. We had several kids that actually played. It was really pretty good. The guys at Harmony House served coffee and soft drinks and water to everyone for free. And we had several parents. We had a lot of siblings and peers for kids that were playing. And the first night I recognized at least 4 or 5 couples that came the first night who are just from the village, who were out walking or whatever, or walked over to come. They didn't have any kids.
Right.
So that's where we are. We're trying to continue to bring a lot of people into the village for different reasons, to have a positive experience and to take that positive experience home to their neighbors.
Well, I just want to thank you and all the members of the BID for for all the events that you put on throughout the year. I don't know of any other villages that put on consistently week after week, especially during the summer. The events that you do, and are phenomenal. I think probably last year was probably one of the largest and most successful jazz festivals I've ever been to. It was absolutely phenomenal. I know that the Wine Walk has brought a lot of new people into the village, and who have experienced the unique stores that we have in the village, and have commented about it, that they had no idea that we did have these types of stores in the village, which sets us apart from the town, that we don't have your typical, like your Target, your big box stores. We have a lot of very unique stores, yours being one of them. So we're very, very fortunate as a village to have, a business improvement district that is active as yours is, and we greatly appreciate it. And I thank you for taking the time out of your evening to come in and speak with us. And regarding the jazz, the high school kids that are playing at the Harmony House, please let us know in advance when they're going to be playing, so we can talk about it and we can put some flyers up and get the word out that they're playing, because it's something very enjoyable that a lot of people would in the village, I'm sure, would enjoy or attending.
We will promote them a little more. They were kind of kept under the cuff because we really didn't know how it was going to work. And we basically let the kids do it themselves. When they were up on the stage, and they decided what songs to play and when to play them. And some of the upperclassmen really took charge, and there were some younger underclassmen, maybe some freshmen and sophomores, who brought their instruments, and they were actually telling them when to come up on the stage. We need you to play, we need you to play, come up here and play right now.
Nice.
And actually made a freshman do a solo, which
No kidding.
he was shaking. So we let the kids do that, and it really worked out really well, and they had a good time. So we'll get a good schedule next year and make sure that everybody knows they're there.
Yeah, it's amazing the amount of talented musicians there are in Webster. There's some really big names. It's amazing. For a small community like this.
Saturday night we'll open on the big stage with 2 high school school groups. The quintet that we had last year, who are now seniors, who are phenomenal, and we'll have a high school alumni jazz big band.
Wow.
And it's kids and there are some adults who might have graduated 20 or 30 years ago who played in a jazz band.
Jerry?
Who might want to come and play in that band. So it just goes to show that, the arts and the music is really top notch, and there's a lot of really talented kids. So
yeah, there was I think it was last summer, or was it last summer or the summer before, my son and I were taking a walk. We were walking down Dunning Street. I think it's close to where your brother lives, the big white house, and there's a kid out there in the driveway with his drum set, just going to town. And we just stopped and listened to the kid for like 15 minutes.
The father's in an actual band, and he's on all the TV.
He does tours and stuff, right?
Yeah.
It was amazing show this kid put on, right in the middle of the afternoon. It was fantastic.
yeah, when the quintet was playing last year to open up Jazz Festival, and the professional band was behind the stage ready to come on, and there were a lot of raised eyebrows for a couple of them, especially the drummer, because they didn't know it was a kid's band.
Right.
They have to show up an hour before, that's the rule, and they're behind the stage getting ready to go, and they thought they were the second band on, which they were, but they didn't know that they were juniors in high school who were playing. When I told them, they were very surprised. So.
Well, hats off to you for giving them the opportunity to participate over at the hall. So hopefully it continues to grow and more people get involved. But once again, we greatly appreciate everything that the bid does for this village, because you really do a lot. You do contribute and bring a lot of people into this village. I think there was at least 2,000, if not more, at last year's Jazz Festival alone. So it was phenomenal. So I look forward to this summer, and we'll pray for good weather for you.
That's what we need. It's all outdoors, so it's all about good weather. All right, thank you.
Before you sit down.
Sure.
I know that people might be interested in how they register for the wine walk. Would you care to elaborate on that?
Yeah, definitely. It's really easy. You go to our website, which is websterbid.com. websterbid.com, and right on the right-hand side, there's a menu, and you click on Wine Walks, and it takes you right to a spot that says Buy Tickets, and you click on it, you buy your tickets right online. We use a ticket company to do that for us, and they can print their ticket, or they can put their ticket on their phone. They show up at the designated place to pick up their glass. They get an actual etched glass, a nice wine glass that's theirs to keep. This Saturday, it's at the original Mac and Cheese. So they can go in there with their ticket, or the ticket on their electronic ticket on their phone, show their ticket, show proof of age, you have to be proof, and they get their glass and off they go. So it's websterbid.com. It's our website, and everything is on there. The bands are on there, the schedule of the movies is on there, the dates are on there. There's also on the left-hand side in that menu, there's a newsletter. You can sign up for a newsletter, an email newsletter. We don't bombard people with a lot of emails. We only send out about 6 or 7 a year, but we do them during the peak times at the beginning of the month. We might send out one email that will tell you, who's playing in the band on the gazebo, when Jazz Festival is, or what movie's playing over the next couple of weeks. And I know that people read that because when we'll go down into the park on Friday night, we hand out programs which shows everything else that we do. And a lot of people will, when you hand them a program, thank me for saying, thanks for sending me the email. I forgot that there was a concert tonight. So there is a newsletter that you can sign up for. And we also have a very well-followed Facebook page that you can, and everything is on the Facebook page also.
And one other thing, you have a wine walk the night of the date night, is that correct?
We have a wine walk the night of one of these date night movies, and I don't know which one. I think it's the August one, right? August 13th, I think it is. There's a wine walk, and then we're going to end after the wine walk with the movie in the park.
Nice.
And this wine walk, we also have live music this Saturday playing on the patio at the Coach. So we'll have a live band. It's actually part of one of the bands that's going to be playing at Jazz Festival.
Nice.
And there'll be live music outside if the weather's good.
It will be.
It will.
A little chilly, but it's going to be nice.
On Saturday?
Anything else?
You better relook at that.
Yeah. You wait and see. You wait and see.
Bad. That's what these stories.
Chilly. No, it's supposed to be 80. It's all right.
That would be good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, thank you
Thanks,
very
Ken.
much. Well, on a more somber note, a very beloved member of Webster passed this past week, Phil Singuglia. And so at this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence and prayer in memory of Phil. Thank you. So our thoughts and prayers go out to all the friends and relatives of Phil. I know Phil, I've known Phil for 6 years, and he's just he was the most kind-hearted man that you want to meet. And just being in his presence, you just felt the warmth. And it's a rarity in people, and people gravitate to that. And he most certainly will be missed. He worked with the community his entire life, and I know he spent 12 years, he served on his board as a trustee, is that right? So he'll definitely be missed. Usually we do the announcements at the end of the meeting, but there's one that I'd like to put out front that's happening this Saturday also, and it's from 12 to 12:30. It's a salute the troops in the village. And it's welcoming home 20 local soldiers from the 10th Mountain Division, and that's this Saturday, June 11th, from 12 to 12:30, and we'll be lining up on Main Street in Webster. So please show your support, and if you can come out, please do so. And that's probably too late to put it on a website. So please show your support. And bring your flag 12:30 on Saturday.
Also like to mention our fellow board member, she's
Yeah,
ill
thank you.
in the hospital, Judy Lancy, like to wish her a speedy recovery.
Yeah, absolutely. We like to keep, ask people to keep trustee Lancy in your prayers also. She did have a procedure. She is under the weather, and we just pray for her speedy and safe recovery. Thank you for that, trustee Byers, or okay.
Yeah, look like it.
Sorry, no. Yeah. All right, so I'll open up the public comments portion of the meeting at this time. If anybody would like to address the board, please do so.
Eric Reynolds, 64 Kircher Park. I have several things that I'd like to address tonight. First of all, why has the May 12th, 2016 Village Board meeting not been approved? And why did it take until May 31st to be posted the second time? I believe that this has much to do with the hypocritical and self-serving manner in which the mayor administers the time allotment for public comment. On May 12th, Mr. Cahill allowed the unfettered comments of Mr. Nesbitt from the audience subsequent to the executive session. There was no public comment time in place at that time. The meeting minutes that took so long to get up recorded this event. And I believe that Mr. Cahill didn't want the public to know about it. The fact of the matter is the Channel 12 was no longer videotaping. They had packed up at the call of the executive session, but that was prior to the adjournment of the meeting. Fortunately, there was an audio tape produced of that entire incident, and those meeting minutes were taken from that audio tape, unbeknownst to Mr. Cahill. So those, when the village clerk did her job and put those meeting minutes up, they were taken down immediately. We did get a copy of those before they were taken down and put back up on the 31st. And that was exactly the reason that they went back up, I believe, is that there was a audio tape of it. Mr. Cahill swore that there was no credence to the minutes until that audio tape was presented. Taxpayer money goes to the town for the service of our videotape. But we're not getting our money's worth. The entire meetings aren't being taped, and due to the interference of the town and the director of Channel 12, we are not allowed to have a live feed. Additionally, the videos of our village meetings are public documents under the law. Destroying these documents is a criminal act. The director of Channel 12 has admitted that she has destroyed videotape of at least one meeting, and that was December 22nd. She claims that profanity was used. She replaced that with an edited version. I have been repeatedly and publicly accused by Mr. Nesbitt of being the one and the only one who used that profanity. The director has publicly stated that more than one person was responsible, but has not named any names. Neither I nor anyone who is sitting near me can recall this. I have the time going in front of me. Conveniently and unfortunately, since the tape has been destroyed, there's no way that we can verify this one way or the other. I believe that the village clerk and the village board are duty bound to bring charges against the person responsible for the destruction of these records. And we initiate a method to disseminate video of our meetings without relying on the town or Channel 12. Furthermore, that video recording a meeting that is highly pertinent. The destroyed document was highly pertinent to possible litigation against the village. Since it is a document that is pertinent, there's no destruction date on it. So I believe that the board and the clerk should pursue the charges of destroying public documents. Thank you.
Anyone else this evening? All right, if no one else, we'll move into village board business, and the first thing up we have is a resolution to approve the minutes of the village board meeting of May 26th. Any questions? Jerry?
No.
Dale? All right, I'll entertain a motion in a second to accept the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
Trustee Apolito?
Aye.
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Mayor Cahill?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next, we have a village board workshop minutes of May 31st. Questions? I'll entertain a motion in a second to accept the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll abstain. Wasn't me.
I'll second it.
Trustee Apolito?
Aye.
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Mayor Cahill?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, next we have a resolution to approve the claims and warrant. Darrell, you have any questions?
Nope, I was in, and I had all my questions answered.
All right, I got to mine late, so I apologize for not getting with you earlier, Jake, because these three are all for you.
It's a flag on the flag.
All right, you got $461 for back glass on the Chevy S10. I was just wondering how that glass broke, the back window.
There was the pavement saw in the back,
The what?
pavement saw, that's, the stand-up one. It was in the back, secured
It was secured?
partially,
Not
not adequately, but partially. And we stopped it, shifted a little bit, and the handle went through and took out the window.
Okay.
That was my first question.
I'm sure you addressed that.
Yes.
Securing properly goes. All right, thank you. All right, Heritage Crystal Clean. Is that a new parts washer, or is that just a refill that we do every
Is that about 600?
600? Yeah.
Yeah, that's, actually what we did is we looked at the bills and looked at what we were doing, and it's, the parts washer is a tough thing. It's something we have to have,
Right.
but that we don't use very frequently.
Right.
So we ended up shifting from the quarterly, or I think it was every 2 months actually, when they would stop. We bought the washer, the existing one we had, because we just got it a couple of years ago. We got it at a significant discount. Bought that washer, and then went to once every 6 months.
Okay.
So they should be back, I think it's August the next time, and then February, August.
And they changed the fluid, right?
Yes. Yep.
And what do they charge us to do that every 6
I
months?
believe it's 146-ish.
That sounds about right, I'm searching my.
Yeah, it's
That's fine.
about 140, 150 40,
Yeah.
145?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And the last question I had was the Precision Lawn and Garden, $772, which I read what was done to the mower, and it makes perfect sense, and that's not, I don't have a problem with that. My question is, how many hours are on that mower, and are we getting close to maybe needing to recycle it?
That'll be the next one. Frankly, I think it's a little bit of a lemon. We've had some issues with that mower. We've had great luck with Ferris mowers. We've had them run them. This one's just been kind of ornery since we got it. But this, it was an 11. I'm pretty certain it's in
Yeah, you
2000.
do.
Yeah, it's 5 years
You're
old, so I
definitely
think next year we're
Yep.
looking at it. But it, this one had a bushing on the bottom that doesn't have a grease fitting on it. It has it's a pulley with like a vinyl or plastic bushing or whatever. That one ended up seizing up, broke the belt broke, the wire going to the clutch and ripped those out. So, yeah, this one's been not the usual one since we've had it. So,
Okay.
but yeah, we had to get in.
Yeah, well, you'll be due next year, I presume, for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ferris are good mowers. They do good work down at Precision Lawn and Garden also.
Yeah, they do.
They really do. All right, that's all the questions I have.
I have one question, but I just figured it out on my own.
Okay. All right, well, I'll entertain a motion and a second to pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Mayor Cahill?
All right.
Motion passes.
All right, next we have a resolution to fund the equipment rotation reserve account with $18,964.50. And that represents proceeds from the Genesee auction of used equipment we sent. So outstanding, and you're not gonna get any, I have no issues with putting the money in there, and that's where it belongs. The reserve account that we established for equipment and vehicles, we established that this year for the first time. A little bit of background, we've allocated significant monies in this year's budget for new vehicles. We established a vehicle and equipment rotation account. So we are funding that to the tune of $50,000 last year, $50,000 this year, in addition to the $18,000, which are the proceeds from equipment that we sold at auction. And there were some vehicles in there too, right? Or-
Yeah, and we had two pickup trucks and a plow truck, though.
Right.
The two pickup trucks did a little better than we thought. The plow truck, the six-wheel dump truck, frankly, didn't do as well.
As we expected and as our estimates were. But, you know, it's, when you're in an auction, you need more than one interested person. So somebody got a pretty good deal on that one, but we kind of made it up a little bit with more than we thought on the other ones. So all in all, it was all right, but it wasn't overwhelming, but it wasn't too terrible. But yes, it is a quick update if you want. The two trucks, we sent a letter of tentative award for the two pickup trucks. One that's, you know, a regular pickup with the front plow on it, and the one with the platform, the regular flatbed truck. So those letters of tentative award for those, and that's what I was going to ask later on, I guess, to before we send the final PO and everything over for authorization to go with those two. And then we've got a mini bid in right now. The state has a new system for bidding. We have a mini bid in now for the dump truck replacement. So.
Thank you very much. So I'll entertain a motion and a second to fund the equipment rotation reserve account with $18,964.50.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Mayor Cahill?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, next we have a resolution for authorization to pay Lou Engineers invoices totaling $26,051.71 for professional services rendered in March and April of 2016 for the North Avenue Connector Project to be paid from the North Avenue Connector Project Reserve account. Questions?
Yeah, I do. Maybe, Jake, you can, since you just talked about vehicle update, maybe you can talk about the North Avenue Connector project update, because this brings us to a total of about, last that I knew, about $55,000 been paid out. So what has happened so far for $55,000?
We're really jumping ahead this evening, Jake.
That's all right. One of the primary things was establishing the right of ways. You know, it's a federal grant. After a couple hundred years of property transfers, you know, along that right of way, you have to be certain. The federal government's very particular about, you know, this is from outside of the, outside of the curb, but within the right of way is where this work's taking place. We can't go outside of that area. So one of the most important things was tracking down and doing the survey for establishing where that right of way is and making sure that it's something that the state agrees that that's okay, that's where the right of way is, and the federal government, everybody's fine with that. So the large portion of it was, you know, the survey work that established that, and also the design work that they're working on right now with the preliminary design. We have a meeting next Wednesday with the Design Advisory Committee to go over and finalize. One of the things I've been working a lot on is these planners up for Main Street, but that stems and grows out of what's happening or going to happen next year on North Avenue. And a big part of the discussion too is going to be the raised median. We had to work with the state and get information whether or not it's going to be, first, whether the state would allow it. If they do, what are the parameters, what does it have to look like? And that's going to be a big part of that discussion. And then from that discussion, they're going to work on a final design and then look to schedule a public information meeting where they can roll out the plans for the North Ave project and what kind of, you know, and there, I believe there's going to be a few different options with things that, you know, the Design Advisory Committee was just at an advisory committee, but it took wide open, everything's a possibility, and kind of brought it back, what's fitting in our community, what's the face of our community going to look like, the entranceways and the gateways, and narrowed that down, you know, a bit to provide some selections and some direction to that design folks. So that's where hopefully
Next Wednesday?
After the next Wednesday, maybe at the next board meeting, we'll be able to say, you know, the Design Advisory Committee, or excuse me, the engineers that are going to put in or have the public information meeting. And we talked about a couple different layouts for that, and hopefully it's going to be a more informal. We're going to be here from, you know, 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 7 at night. Come by, the plans all laid out. There's going to be a lot of discussion on what's going to happen, and it was similar to what the state did. Yeah,
That format worked out really, really well, and, you know, all-inclusive and open-ended, and I think that's definitely the model we should use for, you know, the open meeting for the public.
Yeah, it's a,
How are we with that little property? Are they putting that into their plans at the moment? You know,
Yes.
Yep.
Regardless of the ownership at that time, that property is included in the plans. But that property, I've met with the engineers. They're going to be working on, hopefully they haven't emailed me back because they're experiencing some spam filter issues lately. So I'll try to follow up and then make sure that he hasn't emailed me in the last week on where that is. But I worked with the engineers as far as getting that survey to the state specs and getting the monuments set and that. There, we had the PO for that, and I met with them to get going. There's a lot of office work and things to do to start that out, and then go out to the field, so.
Anyone else? All right, I'll entertain the motion in a second to pay this bill for new engineers.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Trustee Ippolito?
Aye.
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Mayor Cahill?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Our attorney is not in this evening, but I will respectfully ask that a copy of this meeting be sent to our attorney via DVD so that he can, from a legal standpoint, respond to the allegations made falsely, in my opinion, by Mr. Reynolds this evening as it relates to Channel 12. Office is up next, and we have the comp and overtime report for May of 2016, and May 2016, and some budget transfers and modifications. Pardon?
Take only one.
For now, there'll be plenty to come. I don't want to do a bunch now and then the same number later, because we're still getting
Right.
straggler invoices. We'll probably get them until the end of June that are dated May, so it's kind of pointless to do.
A little early for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next one will probably be a couple pages.
Okay. Any questions on the comp overtime report? Gentlemen? Zero?
No.
All right, so for budget modifications, we have $1,084 going from trees, bushes, plants, and bricks, which is 0107, 7140, 403, to benches to purchase a street bench for 19 West Main Street. And the bench will last at least 5 years and therefore should be capitalized instead of expense. So, questions? I'll entertain a motion in a second. What?
I'm just surprised you can capitalize that now.
$1,000 or more. That's our benchmark.
That's interesting.
Just made it.
This is state spot.
All right, I'll entertain a motion in a second for the budget modifications.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Ippolito?
Aye.
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Mayor Cahill?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, Jake, what do you have for us for summer help? We've already heard on the North Avenue Connector project update, and we've heard about the vehicle update. So, thank you for that, by the way.
Summer help, at the last meeting, we discussed a lot of the projects that we're going to be doing the along Main Street this year, and a lot of the work. So I was looking for 2 folks for summer help.
We met with some people and made some calls. We had a lot of applications in. And I've got 2 to look for authorization. The first one is Josh Welch. And the second one is Lisa Higgins. And we're looking for authorization from the 13th, June 13th. And actually I think both of them are going to be available on the 20th, but just in case we can get them in before. They're both currently working. That's next Monday,
Right.
as early as next Monday. And I'd like to go to up to December 1st, because typically we keep the summer help for leaf season, or at least to have those options. If we're done with them, obviously, we won't keep them any longer, but if we'd like to have that option, to have them for leaf season, or we can go through, if there's more comfort, through September 1st, and then look to re-up them again after that. But look for both of them, and typically it's $10 an hour for seasonal or summer help.
I'd do September, we have to be up.
I'd rather do September also.
It's fine.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no, it's,
Consensus is September, yeah?
yeah, September
All right.
1st.
September 30th?
Yes, okay.
And what is the young lady's name?
It's Lisa Higgins. And the other one was Josh Welch.
And they both live in Webster?
Well, they actually both were from this area. One lives a few hundred feet outside of Webster, I think on Ridge Road right in Ontario, and the other one's also in Ontario.
They both live in Ontario?
They both live in Ontario. But they both, grew up here or from here, so I'm familiar with the area.
Okay. Fine with me. No. We missed the 8. All right, well, I'll entertain a motion in a second to for the hiring of Josh Welsh and Lisa Higgins with a start date of June 13th and a finish date of September 30th, 2016, at $10 per hour.
I'll second it.
Trustee Ippolito?
Aye.
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Mayor Cahill?
Aye.
Motion passes.
As part of the vehicle update, thank you, by the way, but as part of the vehicle update, just look for authorization from the board to award for W1, which is our straight pickup truck with this snowplow on it, to Henderson Ford, also Webster Ford. That one came in at, 31, 477.91. That's the 2017 with the plow on it.
Color?
Silver. Green is not available in the 2017, so we thought our new scheme, the sewer van is silver as well, so we thought our new color scheme, what we do is silver for the smaller passenger side vehicles and then stick with the green. We can get that on the larger trucks. So we'll stick with the green for those and go with the silver on the smaller ones. And the silvers look sharp with the green village logo on them, but then at least there's consistency. We want to have something that, you know, when somebody calls up and say, your truck just cut me off, and then they said it was yellow, then I know it wasn't ours. So it's important, I think, to keep them all the same color, or red, or some other color,
Right.
so.
That's fine.
But yeah, this W1 would be 31,477.91, and that's again a Webster Ford or Henderson Ford.
31 what?
$31,477.91.
That's W1, right?
Yep. And W2 was, again, it's going to be also an F350 4x4 with the platform bed on it. It's a rugby platform bed.
F what?
F350.
All right.
And that's 34,527.50. And it's also
528.50?
34,527.50.
Okay.
And that's also to Webster Ford.
Henderson or Webster Ford?
Yeah, they're listed in the state contract as Webster Ford, DBA, Henderson Ford.
So I can use either?
Either or, yeah. And we did get 4 bids for the one or 5 bids for one and 6 for the other.
Right.
But those were the lowest one that met all the qualifications.
No, that's great, and it's
Yeah.
local.
Yeah, and I tell you, so far they've been really, really nice to deal with. Great customer service, met with us, real responsive. After we were talking about the vehicles, got us great information. We asked for the build sheet, so I'm pretty happy. I know we went down and saw the town, saw their truck. Know that they worked with them in the past as well. So.
Well, I know that I've had a couple experiences with Henderson Ford's service department, and I'll tell you what, outstanding. Very, very, very pleased with their service department. So, all right, so we need an authorization for the purchase, correct?
Yes, yeah,
I'll
authorized.
entertain a motion in a second to purchase 2 vehicles. The first will be W1 at a cost of $31,477.91 from Henderson Ford. And the second vehicle for a cost of $34,527.50, also from Henderson Ford. So I'll entertain a motion in a second for those.
Jay, did you know what the prices were, what the outer state pricing or whatever? Just curious how much it would have been.
It's funny, on the trucks themselves, each one varies.
It's like 60,000.
But with the state contract, there's, most of them off of MSRP average around 30% less is to start. And then depending on the additional equipment or the options, there's a percentage off, usually around the 10-11% off those. And then the accessories that go with it, depending on the vendor, sometimes there's 8 or 10. But what I did, this is what they do all day, every day, and they're the experts. I said, I want to complete, there was an option on there to get a complete vehicle. I don't want to get the truck and then go. For these 2, it wouldn't have been as bad, but get the truck and then go get the plow from somebody else. I said, provide that. I figure they have a lot more buying power as well. If we get one truck every few years, somebody else gets a lot. They're all bidding against each other with those, with that in mind. So And like I said, I think they were pretty good value.
Yeah, I was just curious
right
what it
there.
was without
Yeah.
the state price, it just.
Those F-350s are running about 50 grand without the plow.
Yeah, I think
They're
that, yeah,
amazingly expensive.
the base on those, the
Between
base
40 and
was
50.
like 38 to 40. And then you add certain options and things that we're gonna need, especially when you get them, upfitter switches, you get them, set up to, even without the box on them, then you have to do extra wiring things and, 4x4, something they'll get up there. So,
Very cool.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I was at the Ford dealership about a month ago, and I was looking at the trucks, and I couldn't believe what the prices on those trucks.
yeah.
So, yeah. All right, do I have a motion and a second?
There's nothing to repeat.
Sorry, there's nothing to repeat.
I think Surrey made the motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Alito,
Aye.
trustee Belkane,
Aye.
trustee Byers,
Aye.
Mayor Cahill.
Aye.
Motion passes.
What's the turn time on those, Jake?
We're getting the final bill date, but we asked for them around, by the end of September.
Okay.
And I'm a little stressed right now with W3, that's our plow truck that we got rid of with the salter in it.
Yeah.
Hindsight, I wish I would have kept that for the October auction.
Whatever. I'll be
We
fine.
normally do better in the May one. We're stretching ahead and really pushing to get that. I'm asking for that October 15th.
Yeah.
If we have to, a new 16, we'll end up going that way, but we got the bid out right now. It's a little stressed, and with some of the issues like we were talking about before with that filter, it delayed our bid by about almost a good week, because I wasn't getting responses, and I thought they were getting back, but I know we should be close to a resolution on that.
Yeah.
But that's with the way our budget year ends and the
Right.
thing, it's a tough thing to do, so.
Are there 16s that are new that are available now in the event that we need to do that, or you're already?
Yes,
Okay.
and also some of the things, we've got our regular plow trucks,
Right.
bigger plow trucks.
Yeah.
Even if we have a, temporary, we only salt hills and intersections, so
Right.
we can look at a different type of salter in a bind. If we get to where we're gonna have a late build date, we can look at some, another option to have something, something available to us. So I'm confident enough of the vendors and places around here to work with us. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Oh, hey, one last thing. I'm sorry, she said stop, but it's authorization, just say, I guess, make sure we're going to, the Tour de Cure is requested use of our barricades this weekend for
For the ride?
Right, yes.
Right.
And I said, as long as I don't have to ride in it, I'll be happy to drop the things off on Friday, then they're going to deliver them back up to us, I believe Saturday or Sunday, the barricades. So they just want to use them to block off down in the starters.
They picking them up and delivering them?
I said we'd drop them off, we'd stage them down there while we had the guys tomorrow, because it's right there on Orchard
Okay.
Street, where they're
Right.
Orchard and Panama.
They bringing them back?
They're going to bring them back on
Okay.
Saturday or Sunday. I've got to find out.
Who's opening up the garage to put them in?
On Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah.
We're either gonna stack them out like we do a lot of times with if the marching band uses, sometimes they'll stack them up outside or.
Right. As long as they know where they're supposed to go, that's.
Yeah,
you know.
that's what make.
I don't want to see them out front.
No.
On the front monitor. That would be not
I
appropriate.
think Jake can manage this one.
Yeah.
Put them on your lawn.
Yeah.
So
All right, so I'll entertain a motion in a second to authorize Tour de Cure to use our barricades.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Trustee Alito,
Aye.
trustee Byers,
Aye.
trustee Belkane,
Aye.
Mayor Cahill.
Aye.
Motion passes.
So our next village board meeting will be held on June 23rd, and the next village workshop will be July 5th. At this time, we...
16th,
What?
the special meeting on the 16th.
Yeah, the 16th. June 16th, we have a special meeting too, also. And that's for the
Or the joint work section.
joint workshop with the union, right?
Yes. In fact, I was gonna say that I asked ahead of time for that line. I don't believe we need the executive session because we're gonna all work together in that work session.
I asked about that this afternoon. Josette told me that you asked to have this executive session. Yeah.
I think
But if we don't need it, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think we
That's great news.
I think we covered that on the 31st,
Okay.
after that
Perfect.
last meeting, so.
Okay.
Unless Trustee Byers has a better recollection,
That's
or
good.
he has remembering stuff than I
We
do.
were, I wondered about it myself in
Yeah.
terms of coming up for next week.
I think it was a habit that, hey, we got this, let's put it on there.
Yeah.
Just as long as everybody has, you know, the latest update in terms of, you know, the changes we've made, what we agreed to, what we haven't agreed to.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'll get those guys out and, yeah.
I brought my notebook just for it, too. All right, unless anybody has anything else, I'll entertain a motion in a second to close the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Alito? Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Mayor Cahill?
Aye.
Motion passes.